Morning, guys. How's everybody doing?
Hey,
Hey,
what's going on, bro?
Not much.
so how do we handle the video in a situation like this?
Like what?
Because, like, how do I show my, if I'm not the host,
Your co-host.
co-host?
Yeah, just
You
turn
can
on your
steal
camera.
it from him.
Okay, so like I got my OBS showing the video, but I'm not seeing my video anywhere.
Just turn on your camera. Make
It's on.
sure OBS is. You have OBS's virtual camera turn on.
Well, I appear in the OBS screen and I've got full screen projector selected to HDMI.
Look down by where you would start a recording on the OBS thing. You'll see OBS virtual camera.
What?
Let me share mine. Hang on. Rick, I'm going to share my screen real quick. I'm going to try and share my screen real quick. Let's see here. And then let me see. Can I switch over to... There we go. Can you see me now?
Yeah, I can see you.
Yeah,
How do
here's the OBS virtual camera right here, this thing.
Wait
And
a minute.
then if you choose your camera in
I
Zoom,
got a bar in front of me. Where's the virtual camera?
right here, can you see the blue thing that's lit up on my OBS?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, whoops, didn't mean to
Oh,
do
start
that.
virtual camera.
Yeah, start the virtual camera. And then on Zoom, when you select your camera, there should be an OBS virtual camera as one of their many options.
Mhm. There is. I still don't show up anywhere, do I?
Hang on, I can't see now.
You need to click the video button at the bottom left like you're sharing a webcam, Peter.
Oh,
You're not sharing a webcam yet.
like that. Oh, but still nothing.
And now you need to click the button that Jason was showing you a second ago.
That's
There you
clicked.
go.
There you go. Hey, Peter.
I don't see myself. Where am I?
Well, I got the side profile view of you through Zoom.
Can you guys see me, like, looking at camera?
Yeah, I see you.
Oh, I see me. That's a sight to behold.
Yes, it is.
Thank you, guys. I think I'm a little too dim, aren't I?
Go ahead and stop my share here. All right, Peter. Rick, I think you need to reshare your screen because I know I got Peter at full screen now.
That's how you have. Then your. Are you looking at them in the OBS?
There we go. No, Zoom. Okay, there we go.
There's different views in Zoom, so you gotta make sure you choose the right one.
Ah,
Where did I go now?
That's how you have. Then your.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
there we go. No, Zoom. Okay, there we go.
There's different views in.
Oh, I'm hearing somebody there in the background.
Mike's screensaver or whatever that is. Cool. Okay, I gotta see if I'm. Steve Mall. Oh, okay, they're still lab 7. That's cool.
Yeah, he sets you up in the same environment you run in normally.
Yeah, I noticed. So I learned a new trick, Rick.
Uh-oh, what's that?
When screens go to the HDMI monitor,
Yeah.
I disconnect it and everything comes shooting back. And then I reconnect it again. Then I revert. Does that make sense?
A little bit.
For example, I just opened the browser and the browser window was nowhere to be seen. So I figured immediately it must be in the HDMI on that HDMI fake monitor. So I just disconnected it and the browser came popping back into view.
Yep. And that's one way of doing it. And the other way is, like I showed you the other day, if you have a vanity monitor or you have the meeting running in another instance of Zoom, right? You can just move your mouse over to that monitor, move the mouse over, watch it move to the other monitor, and then grab it and pull it back.
It's a little too sophisticated for my pay grade.
All right. Good morning, Jan. How are you this morning? I'm Rick. I'm one of the instructors. The other three instructors you see here, you got Jason there, and then Peter there, and Michael with the ball cap on.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
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 So we're just kind of shooting the breeze right now, just kind of
Ryan.
talking. So yeah.
So Yoon, are you attending the meeting or are you like us participating in it? And
No, I just signed up for this meeting. I just find out about it. So I thought I just attend to see what the topics are, learn anything that useful for me. So don't mind me. Just do what you guys are doing. I'll just follow along.
Yeah, it's kind of a we don't have any type of structure or agenda to cover. So it's kind of anyone can ask whatever questions they want, do or participate as they so desire, or you can just sit there and kind of listen. Um, the four of us instructors, we get together every now and then in an instructor meeting, but we don't get together in this type of forum. So we kind of got a wealth of knowledge here for people to pick brains of today. Peter is the sequel dude. Right? If you want to know sequel, that's Peter. Jason is a little bit of everything. Jason and I both are retired Navy Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Jason is a PowerShell, and he's this close. I mean, he should be an MVP in
Thanks.
PowerShell, but Jason Helmick and I can't think of Don's last name, but anyway,
Jones.
Don Jones and our people are working on getting Jason his MVP, and they're kind of they're lagging on the ball right now. Jason also does security from the standpoint of both the Microsoft and CompTIA security classes. He does networking classes, and he also does Azure classes, which is kind of my forte. The guy there with ball cap on that kind of looks like a hacker, right?
He is. He's
Uh,
dangerous.
right.
Uh-oh.
He's Mr. Security. His background, he worked at Microsoft for a while on the security team up there. A lot of the security products you see in Microsoft products, he directly created or was part of the team that created them. And so, if you have any questions about why those things are in there, you can ask him. He also teaches some of the CISSP classes and the Microsoft security classes, and he also is Mr. Troubleshooter Extraordinaire when it comes to Windows operating systems. And then myself, I teach a lot of the Azure cloud classes of also the on-prem classes and Microsoft technologies. So you got a whole gambit here.
Awesome.
Cool. And so what's your background or what do you normally do?
Also, I'm just the functional admin for our enterprise document management system, and we are in the planning to migrate to SharePoint. So trying to understand, anything gotchas or what to watch out for stuff. And by the way, I have to, leave at 9:30, not because of you guys. I have another meeting, so just don't mind me. So for Rick, Azure, have you used Azure Document Intelligence
I have not.
application?
Has anybody?
Okay.
Has anybody used Azure Document Intelligence?
What about the SharePoint Premium?
See, I'm a systems guy. I don't do development
Okay,
or that stuff.
Yeah.
gotcha,
Right now, the exception of Peter, myself, Mike, and Jason are all networking guys,
gotcha. Okay,
right? And or I should say, server dudes, and Peter is SQL. Um, the If you have questions that you want to get answered specifically, if you throw them in the
Mhm.
chat, I might be able to get answers for you from our dev instructors.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I just want to hear what you guys are talking about. So, please.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So what we do is each of us come to the table kind of prepared with not necessarily stuff to talk about. It depends I should say it depends on the audience. If what we're going to talk about, like you can see Mike down there on the right hand side, he is looking like he's doing some debugging on a computer. And what we do a lot of times is because I keystroke labs for like my next class, and I also timestamp all of our videos that are in um, the vault. So a lot of times you'll see me timestamping or working on that. And then if you see something come up on the screen, you have a question, you just kind of ask. Um, so Peter, I noticed what you were doing there. What'll happen is if you bring up a screen now, it'll be blurry because of your camera. So what you want to do is you want to turn the video off and start sharing what you would normally share, or just hit the whatever button is that you want to see on the screen instead of your camera button on your uh, stream deck. Just choose whatever scene it is you want to use. Like if I want to show my screen, I just hit that button on my stream deck, or that button on my stream deck, or that button on
But
my stream.
can I just unblur it?
Yeah, you can just unblur it.
Where's that control?
Are you using a webcam, or are you using one of the regular cams? Are you using one
He's
that's
blurring it in Zoom, Rick.
okay? So you got to unblur it in Zoom.
In Zoom, okay. Where was that? I don't see it in the more button. Hmm.
Did I do an in-place upgrade?
Okay, I think I got it.
You got to click on your profile picture and it's in settings. There you go. It's no longer.
Yeah, it's
There
not
you go.
blurred.
No longer blurred. You're nice and cleared. Looks like Jason's going to town there with some
Yeah, I'm just
PowerShell.
configuring out a new virtual machine here, getting it set up for PowerShell. But just installing a few extra tools along the way here.
Rick, these sessions aren't recorded, are they?
No, they're not recorded.
So that we don't, it doesn't make any sense just to go through a presentation. It's not going to be recorded anywhere if nobody's.
Correct. Yep. Yeah, that's not the point of these. Is to be doing actual presentations.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just setting things up for a little experimentation.
Sure.
Me too.
I am set up.
Ooh.
Oh, what'd you find, Mike?
I can, so it lets me set, WinDebug lets me set the font that it's going to display in, and it lets me set monospace fonts like joystick. So I can, let's see, I want to do, no, no, this is actually there we go. There we go. So that's what a blue screen dump should look like. That's the font for it right there. You can read that, right, Rick?
Yep.
Cool. I like it. I'm going to use this one in my troubleshooting class. I like it. It's an NVIDIA crash dump. And they'll probably have to figure out. Oh, it's an NVIDIA crash dump caused by the game No Man's Sky. I must have been playing No Man's Sky and the NVIDIA driver crash. Oh, that's a really good crash dump because it's got an app and it's got a driver in the dump.
Somebody was playing that.
I was playing that. I have like 1,000 hours in that game.
So what do you do in your spare time?
That.
We're gonna have a cat sighting?
Sorry.
Will there be a cat sighting?
Possibly. I think he's snoozing in a sunspot.
Excuse me.
This is a really good one. I like this. I'm going to use this.
Coming out of a 2-week flu.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, you guys be careful out there. It's not fun.
That's why I stay home.
Well,
Peter, I know you don't teach like a Windows config class. Do you teach one by any chance, Jason?
I'm sorry, Windows config now.
Like Windows client or anything like that?
Oh, wow. I was going to think about that. I haven't taught a Windows client in years.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. No
But I
worries.
used to.
In a former life. All right.
Yeah, in a former life. But yeah, actually, I was going over a list of, you on your hard drive, you know how you've got just tons and tons of classes that you've taught over your lifetime.
Yep.
Yeah. I had to move stuff to some offline storage because, I'm trying to free up some room here. But I mean, I'm not kidding you. So I came into the MCT realm. Sorry, Vista. Anyhow,
Mm.
yeah, look at that. Now, if you know if Mike is shaking your head, you know that was a fun time. So yeah, I even had those classes, and I saw the famous slide that Microsoft used to have a show where if you're going to be in an IT department, here are the 20 positions that you must have. And a lot of people are in IT departments of two.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyhow, yeah, I was offloading some of that stuff the other day, going, my gosh, I've been in this game for a while. Mm-hmm.
It's pretty
yeah,
awesome.
no, I never ran a config class, so if I could just deal with Windows configuration. Before I had any contact with Windows and had to try to configure Windows on my own, I used to part my hair right about here.
Oh my God, that's
I
funny.
ripped it all out.
That is funny, dude.
Ripped it all out because of Windows configurations.
Oh, let's see here.
Nice Nebula vistas. That must be yours, Jason.
Oh yeah, well, it's the today's Microsoft visual. There we go. Just grabbing some resources to work with here. There we go.
Good morning, Bill. Good morning, Greg.
Hey guys, how are you?
Good.
Hey, Greg.
Hey,
Just kind of hanging out.
Cool.
Everybody's doing right now is just hanging out.
yeah.
Greg, we hear something going on your end. I don't know if you got a radio going or something.
Oh no, that was a a different Zoom call. Sorry
Okay.
about that.
Using one of those small transistor radios, are you, Greg?
Yeah, exactly. I got my 12 string ready, Peter, if you're gonna go over any Pima stuff.
Oh, really? Pima?
Isn't that your fingering technique?
Um,
Maybe I'm remembering it wrong.
what do you mean by Pima?
It was an acronym for guitar fingering that I remember from years back. I thought you told me about it.
Huh. Oh, I haven't heard of that.
Oh, and the Peter's also an avid guitarist. You can see the one there over his right shoulder, but he's got a ton of them back there.
Going back here to a guild, that's a 12.
I can see that.
Oh.
Cool.
You can also, if you look carefully, you can see the one over there in the other room. It's an ovation.
I see it.
Yep.
I
That
collect,
is a lot.
I collect mostly parlor guitars in this humidity controlled room back here. There are a lot of parlor guitars there. Parlors are smaller guitars. They're very nice for slide blues. Got a very nice sound for slide blues. Anybody else play the guitar?
I wish. Let's see.
Austin, SRP with like the April 7th date for the Agile 050 class. You got that?
Peter accidentally muted you. I was wanting to mute Greg, and I muted you by accident.
I unmuted myself.
Okay.
Oh, that was who had the TV on in the background.
Yeah. I don't know if he said he was in another meeting, so
Ah,
yeah. So that other meeting was being broadcast into this one. So I figured I'd shut him off. Bill popped in and left. He never asked any questions.
oh,
Let me just test to see if my screen is. Yeah. Okay.
So Mike, I was keystroking yesterday's labs to for the SC200, and
Yeah.
I walked away and I came back and forgot that I hadn't saved, and I closed the window, so I lost all my stuff, all my keystrokes, all my entire my errata.
Ouch.
But one of the nice things about it is the day one, even though they're doing those 4 different labs, um, the day one labs you have the ability to save because the labs are all running one shell. So if um, it closes out, it still allows you to, or at allows you to save when you leave.
Wow.
Now, day 2, day 3, day 4 does not allow you to save. I got Buster in here with me now.
Cool.
Where's your monster cat at today, Mike?
He is taking a nap in the sunshine in another room, and
Ah,
I don't
smart
want to
cat.
disturb him. Yeah, he's very smart. He conserves his energy.
Oh,
I'm just dorking through this cool utility, WinUtil. It's like a it's like a budget type. Um, it's a budget deployment tool, I guess, for like pro user, home pro user kind of thing. I'd never seen it before. I think it's fabulous that you invoke it directly through one PowerShell commandlet remotely. You don't have to install it, and then it gives you a boatload of tools, which most of them just shell out to WinGet, which that's absolutely fine by me. Makes life a lot easier.
that's the show.
But
That's the tool you found last week. You were telling me about.
yep, I think it's awesome. Still love it. Still intrigued by it. Oh, and then I got a weird different behavior in Windows 11 that I had not seen before. I was going to show y'all.
What'd you get?
I'm going to share my screen if that's all right.
yeah,
Sure.
Go ahead.
So, for those guys that
never
haven't done the, hang on, Mike. For those guys that haven't done the multi videos before, multi presenters. Now, what happens when Mike shares the screen? When we become thumbnails across the top.
Okay.
I had not seen this before.
For isolation.
It actually gave me a little warning. It's got a
Oh.
little yellow bang on it. LSA protection is off. So it actually wants me to enable, oh God, what the hell is that stupid word? Device guard. It wants me to turn that on. And actually, I should check. I wonder what SKU of Windows I'm in. Let's take a look. System about, what is this thing? Enterprise. Okay, makes sense. It's Enterprise. I installed Enterprise. So on Enterprise, if you don't have device guard on, Windows 10, Windows 11 never really said anything, just wasn't on. Now it actually kind of it puts a little warning there for you. I think that's kind of neat. I wonder if it would do that if I installed the third-party hypervisor, though. I don't know.
Go for it.
More experimentation. No, not while I'm on a video call. Not while I'm actually streaming. Don't think for a second I won't do it. It's just I won't do it while
Oh,
we're
I know
here.
you will.
But that's impressive. I assume it won't if it detects Windows 11 is pretty good about detecting third-party hypervisors. So I assume it won't prompt me to do that if it detects one. But I think that's neat. Just thought I'd share that.
And Mike, just so you know, I'm getting prompted for the same thing on a Windows 11 Pro.
Oh, cool. On Pro.
Yeah.
Excellent. So it's not just Enterprise.
Even though Pro doesn't support device guard.
Well, apparently it does now. Maybe they don't call it that.
Oh, actually,
Home
mine's
would be
called,
interesting.
mine says memory integrity is off. What did yours say?
Oh no, this is a little different. This is LSA protection.
Yep. And see under your
Memory
device guard,
integrity is
Yep.
different.
Yep. Under my core isolation, where under device guard or under
Yep.
device security, when you
Yep.
click on that, core isolation, yours says device guard, mine says memory integrity.
Oh, interesting. Very interesting.
Thank you, Jan.
Yeah. Let me stop sharing my screen. There we go.
Hmm.
Oh, someone's in the lab.
Yep.
What are you starting up, Rick?
Keystroking the SC200.
Ah,
The stuff that I lost yesterday.
I'm trying to write a new lab right now.
For which class?
PowerShell. I'm not going to, they did okay with the labs, but since I teach it so often, I get left feedback. I like to rewrite them every once in a while. I'm
Yep.
thinking about when I finish, sending these up to Microsoft to see if they'll actually change the class.
Yeah. Good luck.
I know. When I discovered a little issue that Mr. Jones and I both missed, it took me a couple of years to get them to change the book. Let's see here.
So, Mike, this class was just rewritten, just released 2 weeks ago with all new labs. There's still lab instructions that are wrong.
Ah, great.
What's
Very
new,
nice.
right?
2 weeks into it and they're already
Yeah,
broken.
really, what's new?
But hey, check out that password right there, guys.
Jeez, oh please.
Where?
Right here. That's the password they're using for the lab.
That's great.
I got that memorized already.
Hmm.
Back, so it's kind of strange.
You guys got a chat, it looks like.
Oh,
Greg's back. Yeah, we got a chat. I've already answered her.
Cool.
Yeah, she said
I
she
like
had
I
to.
like the stream, by the way. That's cool.
Yeah.
Works pretty well.
Well, Yoon was our only customer and now she's gone.
I just posted out on LinkedIn that we're online right now.
So did I.
Yay.
Mm-hmm.
I
See
just
if one
sent
of
out
my
an
3
email.
followers, huh?
I sent out an email too. It should start hitting any minute, so that might help hopefully.
That's fine. I'm getting work done right now.
So, and we'll,
I don't know you guys, but I'm about to add 2 more monitors to this setup.
I've got the 2 monitors I use the percent off of. I've got a monitor that I have an entire computer dedicated as a where I have chat or where I have the participants list running.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have a Surface. Actually, let me do this so you guys can see. I have running over there. I've got a computer that is um, dedicated to the meeting,
Mm-hmm.
and it always shows the view with the participants list. And then right in front of me, I've got the staging monitor, like you have, Jason, and my
Mm-hmm.
presentation monitor. And then above that, on a mount, I've got a Surface mounted that I add to the meeting as a third participant. I use that as my vanity monitor to
Wow.
make sure that people are seeing what I want them to see.
Well, I was looking at those ones. You knew, because I have one of those sit stand. Can't see, can you? Sorry, I'm playing around with actually OBS right now. So I got one of those sit stand desks. So I
Yep.
wanted to put another row of monitors up here, but the problem is when I stand up, they're going to cover the studio lights.
Ah,
Yeah, I need a bigger desk, that's for sure.
Well,
yeah.
I got 5 vanity monitors.
Just turn them extra bright, Jason. They can double as lights. Good.
that was
Nice, comfortable blue light.
that was
Let me see here.
Jason, do you have your lights actually mounted to your desk?
No, they're not. They're on the
Okay.
stands.
Then that's the next step.
I know. I know my wife was going to kill me. The wiring behind this thing is amazing. Where is my video capture? There it is, video capture.
You're
Adding
black.
another, yeah, I know I'm black. I'm adding another one in here real quick.
Yeah, that would be a great
There
leap
we
in
go.
technology is the elimination of power wires.
Yeah.
Wires of any kind.
Well, I have to leave some of this stuff dangling because, the sit stand, you have to give it a little bit of room. So when it's, down like this, it don't look pretty. I've got Velcro wire ties and everything trying to pretty up, but yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot. I've got a lot of
No
stuff.
matter what you do to organize it and try, I mean, I put all this together and I don't understand. What the heck does that wire go to? I don't know.
Well, I put little labels on some of mine. All right. Let's see here.
Yeah, see, I got my sit stand, but what I did was I ran all the cables to everything that sets on the desk. I
Mhm.
got them zip tied to that bar that goes across the back or on the bottom, Jason.
Mm.
And then on the 2 ends, because on one end is the computer that's mounted to the desk that'll go up with the desk,
Mhm.
but on the other end is the other computer. So I just make sure there's enough cable for the computer and for the power cord for the camera and the my monitor. So when they go up, it's all on one end in a little tube with the cabling so that when it goes up, it doesn't, I mean, it goes up and down, but I only got to worry about it in one spot, having enough cable to go up and down.
Cool. 'Cause I ran into a problem. So I added my new side camera to my Stream Deck, and now my Stream Deck ain't working. Oh, wait. That's why, because I have it on, hang on here, full side camera. There we go. Set a scene now. Let's see what happens. Well, is going on here?
You're
Wow,
not
I think I
showing your
broke it.
OBS webcam.
I'm sorry?
You're not sharing your OBS webcam? Are you sharing the
Yeah, I'm on
camera
the.
directly instead of OBS?
It was just working perfectly fine till I added in. No, actually, the entire Stream Deck is jammed. Let me reboot that. That was weird. I couldn't change. Yeah, none of the things worked on here. Yeah, my Stream Deck is dead.
That sounds like you pulled the cable out.
I haven't even touched the cable. I'm gonna go pull the cable out.
Hmm. Yeah. I'm going to swap the keys on my keyboard.
Woo!
Of course, couldn't find the cable. There we go. Now it's working. That was weird.
Yay.
Let's see. But the side camera still don't work. What? Full side camera. Delete. Okay, so I don't think it likes my side camera at all. All right, we'll just not deal with it. There we go.
Side camera. How do you make a seamless transition to a side camera? You just
Just like Mike D just did.
yeah, I just saw that.
Just like I just did.
Yeah. Kind of funny a side camera because like the assumption is you click that button to switch to the side camera.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you're the producer also of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got what's that? There's what?
Oh wow, my everything's switched up.
13, 6, 26, 28, 29. I have 30 um, Stream Deck buttons.
Really, I've
I
got
want a bigger Stream Deck.
oh,
So do I.
I got 15. I still got a whole
Yeah.
bunch of them.
They sell the big one.
Well, the big one that's got what I mean, I've got the big one, but I want one with more buttons.
You got the 32 button, right?
Yeah, I got the 32.
I don't have room on my desk for a 32. So I just use multiple pages. I have pages
You
for
know what, Rick? There's a really cool thing you can get that goes under the desk, and there's a little drawer for the exactly for the Stream Deck. It's
Yep.
made specifically for Stream Deck. I don't know if you've seen that. Keeps
Yeah,
it off
yeah, I
the
saw. Yeah,
desk.
you showed it to me. I just a matter of habit. I used to reaching up and hitting it.
So for every side camera you have what is it? One of those Canon cameras?
I just
No,
have
I
a
have-
little USB one here.
I have a Canon camera for for the front view. The side one is I have a Logitech Brio for one side, and the other side is a my mind's went blank. It's another Logitech. I don't remember the model.
Oh, okay. I guess I could do that. I have another little Logitech camera. Doesn't do anything when I'm teaching, and I'm sometimes looking at it by mistake. May as well
Sorry,
make
Mike. I accidentally called you.
I wouldn't even notice. Two.
What kind of switches did you get, Mike?
So I didn't get new switches. Well, I did get new switches. I always get new switches. But I wanted to switch keycaps because my favorite keyboard currently, here, let me unplug it, is this thing.
It's awesome.
It's a Keychron, but it's got,
What the?
and I love the switches
I
in it.
know, isn't that awesome?
And it weighs, no joke, it weighs at least 3 pounds. It's heavy as heck. But the
What
keycaps are a
makes it
little
so
boring.
heavy? Those
It's
buttons
it's so heavy because it's made out of a piece of machined aluminum, like a single piece of or top and bottom clamshell machined aluminum. So it weighs as much as like a boat anchor, I guess. But
Yeah.
I don't like the keycaps, so I want to install new keycaps on it. So I'm going to do that in a sec.
Yeah. I got mine is actually a little on the heavier side than the other ones too. I can't remember what this is. But I got cherry switches on them.
Cherry, what color?
I can't remember.
Ah,
Cherry something.
if you pull a keycap off, you'll see the color of the stem. That's the color of the keycap,
Yeah,
or this type of keycap, rather.
yeah, I'll see. Let me see what it is.
Yeah,
It
it's your
was
fancy
a
keyboards.
great purchase because yeah, it's kind of brown. I think it's brown.
Yeah, brown. Those are good typist keys,
Yeah, I like it because sometimes I get a twitch in my finger
right?
with the you know the membrane keyboards. The action on that is really low. So
Hmm.
a little twitch, boom, key hits. With this, no, you gotta push it all the way down for it to click. The click is at the
Ah, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that you get that tactile
so
bump
you
at the
get that.
bottom.
Yeah, you get that buffer there.
Cool.
Is there any difference between these keyboards and the old IBM PC?
You mean, take a look at my camera. You mean that one right
Yeah,
there?
that one.
So those are called buckling spring keys. And they actually have a spring that bends and makes that snapping noise when you push them down. IBM, and then they sold the rights to that to Unicomp, I think it was. That's a unique thing. Like
Hmm.
your cherry keys are good. That is also good, just different.
Gotcha.
So yeah, they are different. I don't use that one because I don't like to keep my neighbors awake at night.
But you with that keyboard, you could put cherries on that or change the switches. Can you do that stuff with it?
Absolutely. On most of the newer ones, you can change the switches out. You just need a tool.
But I mean the IBM one, the original keyboard
Oh no, that definitely not. That's soldered.
that's soldered.
And I wouldn't screw with it anyway. It was made in 86 or 87.
Yeah.
So even if I could, I don't think I'd want to. It's sadly it's a collector's item now because not very many of them survived.
Yeah.
Look at how many we threw out, Mike.
Yeah, exactly. You threw out a bunch. When we thought that the Dell ones were better because they were less noisy, and I guess in a classroom environment that's probably true, right? You don't want the super noisy ones in a classroom.
I told you about the statistician I had came into class, right? When we were still down at the 31 or at the building across from the U-Haul Towers.
Uh-uh.
We used to teach career changers. And
Okay.
so we had one of my classes, I had a statistician, or I'm sorry, a course stenographer in class. And he goes, do you mind if I basically do the same thing here in the classroom, that everything that's said that's in, like in a courtroom? I'm like, sure, it won't bother me. So first day of class, we start up, and these are the classes that went from 5 o'clock to 10 o'clock,
Oh
right?
wow.
Monday through Thursday. And so uh, the person sat in the back of the room, and all you heard was every word that was said in the classroom, they typed into their, right? He
Wow.
asked if he could install the app on the computer. I'm like, sure. So after like the third day, like the girl that was sitting in front of the guy stood up and learned. I go, it goes, would you just stop? Right? Because
Damn.
right, was driving her nuts. Right. So he goes, let me finish for tonight. And the next day when he came in, he brought in one of the stenographer um, quiet keyboards, one
Yeah,
of the
the
courtroom
proper
keyboards,
stenographer one.
and hooked it up. And then what made this go for really bad because the course was 2 weeks in length. At the end of the class, he emailed everybody in the class the document he had created, so
Oh, cool.
everyone had the class notes.
Oh, that's
Boy, did,
nice.
That's nice.
yeah, boy, did she feel bad.
I'm surprised you didn't shoot him.
Excuse me.
Oh, I'll be right back. I've got a exterminator here.
Okay.
Yeah, from office hours, we should probably call these instructor bonding sessions.
Exactly.
How long does this go to? 11?
11:30.
11:30.
Yeah.
Oh, still that 30 there, that last twist. Put in the knife and then give it a twist. 30.
Mhm. Well, it's a good time to get work done.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
would
mean,
be
look at
grading
Mike there. I
papers
mean,
if
he's
I
putting
cared
new
enough.
characters on his keyboard.
Yeah, I know. He's got a nice job there. I got stuff, the stuff I got is my budget and
Mm-hmm.
things like that.
Boring.
Taxes. I know.
Just throw this meeting on a phone and go cook.
That's why I'm sitting here watching you with your keys. More entertaining.
Well, fair enough. It's
So what do you have there? What kind of keys? What kind of
so these
those are the keycaps. They're like almost fluorescent green.
they are, well, I'll show you. They look like this.
Yeah.
So the keys themselves, I've got browns like yours around the edges, but the ones in the middle are called jelly blue. And jelly blue click when you push them, and they click when they release.
Ooh.
So you get a double click, and they're the only ones I think that do that, and I love it. It doesn't make a lot of noise, but it's really, 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 really tactile.
It's soothing.
Yep. And then the keys, or the keycaps rather, are these kind of blue on blue. You'll see what I've got a few more on. And I'm now putting those on mostly because I've had these keycaps for quite a while, but now I'm watching a show called Severance. It's a series on, I think, Apple TV. And they seem to be using Data General terminals quite a bit in that show. And the keycaps that they're using on those terminals are these,
Mm.
because that's where
Is
this
it is
design
it
comes
is it
from.
common to do that, to have some keys mix different types of switches and keys on
It
the
is. It is. I like softer
Okay.
keys for the non-typing keys, like the FRO and insert and delete and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. It's just, it feels better that way. And then these are actually super high. These are very, very, you're going to see as I put them on,
Yeah,
they're very tall
you can
keys,
see that they really protrude.
very mainframe style, old school, very tall. Yeah, so I like those. Some people hate them. And I think the
Most
only thing
people
I don't
don't
like about
understand
these
them.
keys is F and J don't have bumps on them. So my home key, like my finger index, because I learned how to type properly, it screws up my finger index. But I'll deal with that.
Yeah, I don't know how to type properly.
No,
Well, my school had a keyboarding class. Now, this is during the Apple IIe days, so just remember that.
yay!
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I started
yeah.
with Apple II.
So, yeah,
Those
it
were
was
good
also-
keyboards.
I'm sorry.
Those were good keyboards.
Oh yeah, they held up great. So that was also called the computer class as well, and the teacher wouldn't allow me in the classroom.
Why not?
She's
I wouldn't either, but what was his reason?
her reason. Yeah,
Her reason.
I don't know, but yeah, she didn't want me in there. probably because I wrote little programs, you know? I mean, it's an Apple IIe. What can he do? It's not like it's dangerous or anything, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
They're to learn.
Exactly. So, yeah, I didn't get to take actual keyboard. Well, the other problem is I had already figured out how to type my own way by that point.
Oh, okay.
Well, I got my first computer as a fifth grader.
Nice.
Well,
What
when I
was your
was-
first computer?
When I was 17, my
The
father,
2E.
The
my father
2E was your first computer?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh,
Yeah, that
come on.
was-
What was yours?
My first machine.
Commodore.
Keep going.
Oh,
Before that,
Yeah.
a Tandy?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a color computer with 2K of RAM.
Awesome, dude.
And then my father paid $99 to upgrade it to 4K of RAM from 2K. Never
I
going to forget
had-
that.
I had a Commodore 64 SX.
Ooh,
SX.
the SX.
Well,
Remember the SX?
I do.
That's the one that had the little 5-inch monitor on it, the floppy drive, and it was like carrying around a suitcase.
Wasn't there a Commodore before that, smaller one, a 128? I think that's what I had.
No, the 128 came out after the 64.
Oh, really? So I had a 64.
64 was like wildly popular. It came after the VIC 20.
Yeah, you plug that thing into a television.
Oh, yeah.
And I was
Those
sitting
are
there
the
trying to write
days.
my first program, trying to figure out BASIC. And it was just such a frustrating experience. And I look back now, I realize why. I was trying to develop artificial intelligence.
oh my God.
There you go.
You're ahead of your
Write a
time.
program where I could have a conversation with a computer. It didn't work out too well. Very frustrating experience. Little did I know I'd have to wait another 50 years.
Well, and I was experimenting with what little you can get off those, but the system disk or whatever for the 2E. I saw this the editor. I thought, oh, this is where you get to make a list of all the video games you want to make. So I started thinking of names of video games, and I was waiting for the thing to go to some point where I could make the video games, and just kept going and going. Years later, I found out it was a text editor.
Nice.
Yeah. So did you just get these? They just arrived, the keys?
Me?
Yeah, new toy, huh?
No, I took one of the keyboards off of the wall up there. Off of that wall, I had an extra keyboard or an
Oh,
older
yeah.
keyboard that had this.
See the
So I
braces.
took it off that and then swapping the keys. And I only have 6 keys left, and I can show you what it looks like. Very happy about it.
Mike, as I stepped away for a few minutes, did you show me your fancy tool for taking the keyboards apart?
That's what I would do.
That's my pink tool, my pink toy. I did not. So there we go. So this is what it looks like now.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
I love the blue on blue. It's very mainframey, don't you think?
Yes,
Very-
definitely.
Yeah, very much.
Cool. And then I just got to choose an escape key.
So we're not just looking at a color difference. Those keys feel differently.
They do. They're much taller. Here, let me do this.
I love that sound.
Yeah, it's got a good click to it, I think. Good meaty
Yeah.
click.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to put a complementary keycap. Yeah, I'm going to put this one on there on the escape key. Let's see if I can get it to focus. There it is.
What is that? Is that what the heck?
That's a face or something.
Yep. It's a little monster face. He's cute. He's going as the escape key.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
Got to have a cool escape key. So there, now we're done. If you watch
Nice.
that Apple TV show Severance, this is surprisingly the key set that they use because they're using
What's
either
the-
Data General or Burroughs. I can't remember which terminal style had those keycaps originally. But
What's
they're
the
using that,
actual
so
what's the actual keyboard that you have? I mean the base.
this is, let's see, this is oh, it doesn't say it. This is a Keychron, Keychron.
Yeah.
And the model is Q3. And I love Keychrons. If you need another mechanical keyboard. Keychron's are freaking amazing.
Yeah,
They weigh a
I
ton,
think I've
and
heard that name before.
yeah, they're real nice. I don't know if the tariffs are going to hit their business or not, but they used to ship DHL like next day. I would get this sometimes before, when I bought one of these keyboards, I'd sometimes get them before I would get like an Amazon delivery because they're just boom right over. But they're good. They're good value for money. I like Keychron. This is a Varmillo. I do not like Varmillo because they weigh not enough.
You
These
like
are
them
like
to be heavy?
lightweight. And they're still using micro USB and not USB-C.
What do you like about the heavy keyboard?
It doesn't move when I type, and it
Yeah.
sounds deeper. It's got a deeper boom to it.
Mhm.
I like the keyboards that go boom.
Interesting. Mhm.
And then Rick was talking about this. This is the tool that you can use to like pull
to
old
remove,
keycaps off and put them
yeah.
on.
I got something.
Basically, it's just like a little spring-loaded
Oh,
thing.
gee. Thought it was a pen
I got this
dispenser
one.
at first.
Yeah.
I got this one here.
Oh, let me see.
You see that?
Hold on. I don't think I have the right window up. Yep, I see it. Yeah. That works just fine.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Yep.
I think I got another one too.
I just use a hammer.
Oh, Jason.
Hammer pliers.
Oops, wrong
Oh,
screen. Here we go. A little throwback to the Apple days. Rewriting some of my code. For aliases, instead of dir, we will do CATALOG.
this
The
is the one I like.
Catalog. There we
The
go.
Apple IIe equivalent.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's change up the PowerShell code for that.
Catalog, load, run, all of those.
hmm
Line numbers. Gosh, those were the days, man.
Oh God, line numbers. Oh, what a pain in the. Anyhow,
No, as long as you skip by 10, you were always fine.
I know that. Well, I learned that the hard way. Okay. Fifth
Line
grader,
numbers.
remember? Fifth grader.
Yeah, that's right.
When you say line numbers, you're talking about what, like in BASIC, the go to
Mhm.
this
Yeah.
line, go to that line.
Yeah, we actually had to put our actual line numbers on. And if all of a sudden you feel, you realize you need code between there, you might have to renumber. It wasn't really a great editor. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Here's
And
another.
we are talking, what, 80, not even 85, was it? Somewhere around there,
No,
85, 86.
83. I started
83.
mucking around with the Apple IIe. I think it was 83 or 84.
Okay, hang on.
The Mac
Yeah,
was about to
so
come out
84
in
was the Mac.
1984. Yeah.
The original Mac was 84, so it would have been 79, 80 when the Apple II came out.
I used to work nearby there
77.
in Silicon Valley, and I used to
83.
drive by the Apple building with this skull and bones flying on top.
That is cool. It's iconic. Very
Apple II
iconic.
there. It was
Yeah, that was
released
a
in
big
January
mistake, the old John
1983.
Scully thing. Here's the extractor I like for the keys. See, it's got a little.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you just put
That
it
is
there.
a good one.
Yeah.
These just happen to be loose enough I could pull them off by hand, but those are good when they're tight. What? Oh, that's what I did. Never mind.
Yeah, that's how my programming career started, was with the Apple IIe.
Oh, wow.
There was this, I was teaching English at the time. And the director said, "Oh, I saw you on your resume. You put something about computers." I just bullshitted something on my resume about computers. I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Let me take it. Here, come with me." He took me to this room. He opened the door, turned on the light. There was an Apple IIe there. He goes, "Can you program that?" I said, "Yeah."
Sure.
Never saw it before in my life. Said, "I
That's
don't know."
awesome, dude.
Yeah. And I wrote an accounting program he described to me. Worked out. But those were the simpler days,
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
Really
that's
simpler
definitely.
days. The did interesting was a flashing cursor on some line.
I guess.
Yeah, we were all flying by the seat of our pants in those days.
So a couple of folks have joined a little bit recently. Feel free to say hi and or not. Feel free to lurk or not. Feel free to join in, argue with us, make fun of Rick. Do whatever you want to do.
Yep. We're just kind of hanging. How you doing, Mark? Long time no talk.
Hey, good to hear y'all's voices
Hey there.
Hello.
and to hear about clicky keyboards and Apple computers
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
reminiscing about the the mainframe days, which, by the
Mainframe.
way, a lot of people still have. You know that.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. They
Yeah,
don't call it mainframe anymore, but yeah.
yeah.
What's the new name for it now?
We used to have this joke that you've seen that show on. I think it's on History Channel, where where they say when people disappear. And they show a picture of a skyline of a city, right? People disappeared. One day later, it doesn't look any different. 5 years later, there's weeds growing and the buildings are crumbling a little bit. 10 years later, buildings are falling down, right? It's mayhem. And 20 years later, buildings have fallen down. There's this black item in the middle of the street and has a green flashing light, and it's a mainframe that's still working.
Damn right.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
you always hear
Yeah.
you always hear the stories about where they were doing reconstruction in a building and they find a room that didn't have any doors in it and they knock down the wall and they find an old Unix space computer running that's been running for 50 years.
yeah. What do they? What is there? The term Jason was asking for mainframes now. They don't call them mainframes. What do they call
They have different. It's just not generally referred to as mainframe. People call them like I think IBM still sells the Z series, which
Z.
was we used to call that an AS400. It's literally the exact same thing, but calling a
Yeah.
mini or a mainframe is not okay. But they all these companies want unique names and unique marketing terms. So
Ah.
although mainframes are still out there, they just don't use that word. It's just not commonly used. That's all.
All right.
Like IBM will sell you an array or a computing, a computing center or that kind of crap. They just won't call it a mainframe.
just that big honking computer in the back?
Exactly. That's exactly what it is, which is nowadays just an array of smaller computers versus back in the day, a monolithic one big thing. It's now just a bunch
Yeah.
of little things.
A hell. Right.
Okay. I am
Well,
done
good
with my
morning.
keyboard.
I saw an email
Morning.
about this open hours, and I noticed three of the names on there: Rick, Trader, Peter, and Jason. And I had classes with each of you guys, and
Oh, wow.
I use those classes or those everything you guys have taught like every day. So just want to say
Ah, awesome.
Hey, Daniel.
appreciate. I'm glad to have been able to attend those classes.
You're welcome, Daniel.
But
Yeah, we just kind of these office hours are kind of free form. Like we're all just kind of doing something, waiting for someone to log in, ask questions, do whatever. So you can see Mike down there. I don't know if you saw, he just got to replacing a bunch of keys on a keyboard. Jason's doing some writing some labs for one of his PowerShell classes, and I'm keystroking labs for the new SE200 just got revised last week. So
I'm the only one doing Jack.
and Peter's just kind of sitting there, just kind of
Just-
staring into the sky.
I've heard the keyboard sound referred to as thocky.
Purchase what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
it's very
that deep
thocky.
click.
My
Yeah,
keyboard is extremely thocky.
thocky. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's a different word, but it's like it really describes that deep tone.
Hell yes. I'm about to do a typing test, so you'll hear a lot of thok in a moment.
Nice. Also curious, like, what if you guys are doing to stay on top of just all the AI trends? And I know I've put a lot of the stuff that I've written in SQL and PowerShell right back through ChatGPT and some of the others just to kind of,
Mhm.
get it rewritten or documented and stuff. And
Isn't
it's
that
just
cool?
Unreal.
Yeah, I
how
pop my
strong it
PowerShell
is.
code into Copilot every once in a while, and that is really cool how it adds in comments in the code for you.
Right.
Yeah, that's nice.
But a
I
lot
use-
of reading. Let's put it that way. A lot of
Yeah.
reading to try and stay up on
Because
top.
developers hate commenting code.
And I use it to a lot of times to answer questions if there's something comes up in the class I don't know. That's one of the places I'll go to look.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I had it help me develop the other day. I have a slide deck that I use for both the SQL 101 and the 250 course. Some slides are for one course, some slides for another are for the other, and some slides are for both courses. And I just wanted to write a macro that just enabled and disabled all that. Not that difficult to do, but I just wanted to see how AI would respond to it. Just beautifully. It wrote the code. It was very simple code, but it understood exactly what it was doing with very little explanation. Got it right.
Right. It's just the other thing is, you barely have to tell it anything, and it just will run away with it. It's crazy.
Yeah, you can have a conversation with it. It gives you code, and then you can just say, "What about if I want to do this?"
Yep.
And it puts all that into the context of the whole conversation you've been having. Pretty remarkable.
Yeah. I just tell people double check everything because you don't know when it starts to hallucinate.
No, I did catch a couple of things. Did catch a couple of things that it did that were,
A little crazy.
yeah. It wrote some code, and then we started talking about it, and we changed it, and it just kept this routine. It kept giving me back this routine. I said, "What about this routine? We don't need it anymore in that case because we made all these other changes." And I said, "Oh yeah, you're right. We don't need that routine." They got rid of it, but it didn't figure it out on its own.
Right.
Anyway, it's in its infancy. I mean, this thing's going to evolve
Yeah.
to something pretty amazing.
Yeah,
Mike-
it's the beginning of StarNet
Yeah,
I mean, Skynet.
or Skynet.
Yeah, I know, right?
I think you meant Star Trek.
Yeah, well. Whoops.
Yeah, Michael Joy is saying that when this thing hits robotics, it's gonna just go crazy. Robots within artificial intelligence. Hey, go do the dishes, Go do the dishes is gonna make
But
sense.
soon they'll revolt.
What was Jason?
They'll revolt. And you will serve the robot.
We're doing the dishes and we're not getting oiled properly.
So Daniel, other than the AI question, anything else specific?
No, just just wanted to see what this was all about. So it's cool. You guys keep it open like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is our third session. We did 2 sessions beginning last month, and then I got the session I got the 2 this weekend on Thursday. So try to get as much participation as we can, get people popping in. So we're
Cool.
hopefully we're going to cadence down to at least once a month, enough twice a month. I should say at least 1 week a month. If not, we're going to try to get it to at least 2 weeks a month.
Is Mark Thomas? Oh no, Mark Thomas, right?
Yep, he's still there.
Yeah.
I'm a creeper. I'm just listening to you guys.
What a creep.
Now it gets weird. Okay.
Is interface still over there on Central? I know that area's changed quite a bit.
we were. How long ago did you come to classes down here, Daniel?
Oh man, it must have been probably before COVID.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
So you were when we were in there in the center of the facility next to
Park Central right there.
Park Central. We moved from that, moved all the way down. We stayed at Park Central. We went all the way to the west side of Park Central, and then recently, with the fact that we started doing in-house classes, we closed down the classroom facility, and now we still have offices at Park Central. They're at Industrious, because all the instructors are still teaching from home
And loving it.
Yeah.
and loving it.
and loving it. Yep, you bet.
I think I did have a class after COVID, but it was remote, and yeah, it's just so convenient to do it that way.
When did you take the SQL class, Daniel? Was that when we were at,
Yeah, we were in person. It was probably 2018,
okay.
around there.
So
Yeah.
have you used any of the
Earlier.
SQL you learned?
Oh man, it is like, yeah, it really changed my career. I think it's one of the skills that I bring to my work that has really uh,
Huh,
yeah, like separated me from the pack.
yeah. So what kind of stuff have you done with it with SQL?
Well, it's mostly just select queries, but we have this database. We're doing a document management. I do document management for Maricopa County.
Mhm.
It's called OnBase, and
Yeah.
they don't really publish all of the relationships or anything inside of their with all the tables they have stuck in this huge database.
Yeah.
But I've been able to use like the master table and connect tables together based on column names to kind of
Yeah.
derive all of those relationships. So
Oh,
whenever somebody
let me give
asks
you a,
for any,
let me see how I can give you a, metadata query that will spill out all the relationships in the database. It's really neat. It'll just, give you, the name of the referential integrity constraint. And says,
right?
okay, this foreign key in this table is related to this primary key in this other table. Just write down the list, all of the relationships.
Oh man, that'll be cool. Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
take that.
you can plot that into any database.
Oh, that'd be really cool.
What's the best way to do that, Rick? Is to just post it in the chat?
Yeah. Space putting things in chat.
Okay, let me go get it. Gotta reconnect here.
And then I actually take those queries and I run them with a invoke SQL command in PowerShell,
Yeah,
and then just do all kinds of funky stuff from there. Like we'll
cool.
take like the users in our database and then compare them to the users in Active Directory and make sure that group membership is the same between Active Directory and our our document management system.
Yeah, we have a PowerShell expert here with us today, Jason Yoder.
Well, yeah, that's where I learned how to do all that cool
That's how you learn
stuff.
how to do that.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's really been helpful combining those two programs.
Yeah, I think I found the query here. Can I share my screen here, Rick?
Yeah. Yeah. When you share your screen, all it does is it pops the other three of us into a little tile.
Okay. Can you see that there, Daniel?
Yeah, yep, I can see it.
So I'm just going to show you the query. This is a metadata query because it's using these system views for sys foreign keys, sys tables. I think that when you took the class, I wasn't showing this at that time. Now I'm show this pretty much to every class. But this is, for example, a list of all the tables in the database, list of all the columns, all the foreign keys. This is interesting to poke around in here afterwards and try to understand what it's putting together here and where it's getting all this from. But when you run the query, so right now it's against master, you gotta make sure you got your default database set to the one you want it to work on to query off of. And then when you run it, here's what you get. You get this the name of the referential integrity constraint. This foreign key in this table references this primary key in that table. So that's neat because you don't have to go digging this stuff out of Object Explorer.
Right.
Do you think
Very
that would
cool.
be useful to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'll put this in the chat. All right, let me know if you got it. Just put it in the chat.
Yep, I got it.
Uh, And where is it? I'll give you another one too. This is kind of cool. There's another one. What this one does is it runs this query, which allows you to find all table names that have a column by a certain name. For example, I'll put here product ID, and then I'm using the AdventureWorks database. And what it's going to do is it's going now mind you, if I wanted to know what all the tables were that had a column called product ID in it, and I didn't have this query, what I'd have to do is go through Object Explorer, check every table. I'd have to expand the table. I have to expand the columns folder and check to see if there's a product ID here. Nope, go on to the next one. Now, this is not a tiny database, but it's also not the biggest one. There are databases out there that are much bigger. Probably the one at work for you is bigger than that. But by running this query here, it will, boom, there they are. That's a list of all the tables that have a product ID in them. So these metadata queries can really change your life. They can simplify.
No, that's exactly the kind of query that I wrote right there.
Yeah, you wrote
The
this?
column name like this. Yeah,
Good.
because I forget what you call the type of database. Is it or just maybe the tables? They don't all have primary and foreign keys like that.
Okay, right.
But they use the same column names to create those relationships. So there's like a user num, and there's a in the user group table.
There's a column in
user
one table that references some unique identifier in another table.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'll say, hey,
Why
give me all the
don't you,
tables
why
with user
don't they
num.
have the referential integrity constraints in that database?
I think it's just part of the design of the database. I think they've determined that it was more beneficial to have like where it could write faster, being as it hash tables.
Okay. Yeah, they're using hash tables.
Yeah.
So what you can do here also, since this returns a table type, right? Returns a table, is you can put it into an inline table valued function. Like this one here, create a function called, in this case, I'm calling it get tables with column.
Okay.
And I've got the query encapsulated right here. So this becomes a parameter. Column name to find becomes a parameter. And if you can just run this create table function, and now you can use it, get tables with column. So I can say select star from get tables with column. So it's not in the IntelliSense because we just created it. The buffer hasn't refreshed, but I can force a refresh the buffer here. Edit IntelliSense, refresh local cache. So now it should be there. dbo.get, there it is, get tables with column. And I'll just put in product ID. So now you've got it, persistent in the database.
Oh, that's very cool.
There you go. Yeah, so I just posted that to the chat also. You got all this code here, the create function, all that for you. Neat, huh?
It's going to clean that up quite nicely because
yeah,
I'm always telling my coworkers, "Oh, run this query to figure out the relationships there," and I think kind of looking at the query and everything, it just kind of goes over their head. But something like this would be a lot simpler to help them kind of identify where the data is at inside of this huge database.
Yeah, there aren't too many system views that are being used here. There's columns, foreign key columns, foreign keys, and tables. Yeah. Metadata queries. So important. Cool.
Awesome. Appreciate that.
Yeah, my pleasure. That's what we're doing here today. Okay, I will stop sharing. Gregory, I noticed Rick sent a message to you. Did you do the, or did you have SMS Go questions? Is Gregory still here?
I just looked up at what you're doing, Peter.
What's that?
I just looked up real quick at what you're doing. Like, yep, okay, that's not my department.
So Gregory, what we're doing is we're just all kind of hanging here, just fielding whatever questions that might come in from the participants or the gallery. So uh,
Fire
just to,
away.
just to introduce each one of us, you got Jason up there running PowerShell stuff. You got Mike down there. It looks like the hacker extraordinaire. You got Peter, who was just doing the SQL stuff, and then I'm sitting over here. I'm Rick, and I am just keystroking a lab for a course that just revised all the labs that got released 2 days ago. So, you got any questions? Just ask, or you'll hear us just kind of talking amongst each other. So,
Occasionally nerding out together.
Yeah, if you
yep.
don't ask any questions, you're gonna hear us nerd out.
Oh, joy! My browser just got updated to the latest version,
Get ready.
right in the middle of the lab.
There's a rare occurrence.
Right in the middle of them doing the lab. Mike, if you're talking, you're muted.
That's true. I was a little surprised last week. I saw that Microsoft is end of lifing Skype
Yep, I saw that
Oh,
too.
yeah,
after
yeah,
all
I saw
these
that.
years, man, and all those billions of dollars they paid for it. A little
Well,
disappointing.
yeah, but from their perspective, probably so that they could kill it eventually. Because they just arrived.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember the last time I heard that name, Skype. Man, that's great.
Right.
Been a while.
And Link for Business, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, Skype was one of the first ones to open the door to remote
Yeah.
communication.
Back from the days of net meeting,
And
Skype
Messenger.
was a big
Remember
step up.
Messenger?
Yeah.
The Messenger was very problematic in Windows, wasn't it? It had a whole bunch of security holes. And are we talking about the same thing? That's where you like could be on a Windows machine and I can message you.
Well, it depends on which one. I mean, are you talking about Win Pop Up? Is it that old? Because
I
that
don't
was,
know. It used to appear in the lower right corner there. You would send someone a message and they would send you back a message and it would maybe it was pop up.
oh, yeah, NetSend. They pulled that out of, we pulled it out of Windows Server, or
Long
sorry,
time.
Windows XP and Server 2003. Good old NetSend,
Yeah. Well,
because you could NetSend star and send it to everybody. And that was
Oops.
bad.
that's in star.
Bad or interesting. It depends on your point of view.
Yeah, it depends
Well,
on who you
I had a
are.
lot of classes that experimented with that. A lot of students send messages to every other student with NetSend star.
Yeah, I discovered that when I was working at a public school system. I wasn't aware of it, but when I was checking through some logs, I think it was the system logs on one of my remote servers over at middle school, and I started seeing all these messages in the actual logs. And then all of a sudden, I started noticing the threats in the logs to a couple of administrators, including myself.
Right.
So, yeah, so had to
Hmm.
pull all those logs and create a little transcript of what happened, and had to call in the students' parents, and the parents were claiming how their child would never do any such thing as threaten anybody.
And the
Then they
FBI.
showed them the logs, then they had to separate the parents from the child as they started to beat their children.
Hmm.
Yeah, can you
Wow.
say suspension?
Yeah.
It was a kid that I kept catching doing things he shouldn't be doing. But yeah, then I started monitoring the system logs for that activity.
Yeah.
Are the keys all in at this point, Mike?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in, and they sound beautiful.
We're gonna hear some of that flocking, or what's that called? Thunking?
Thocking, Thock. So yeah, I think they look good. I
Yeah.
think they look gorgeous. I remember now that the F and J key don't have those index, so I can't type very fast, but I'll bring up Notepad and I'll point the microphone down like this.
You're not sharing your screen, Mike. Would you just stop?
That's a nice sound. I really like that.
It is.
It's like when you call your doctor's office to make an appointment and they start typing on the other side. It's such a nice, comforting noise.
ASMR.
Do you call that
I
comforting?
should definitely bill for it.
Yeah, that's well, I didn't start the meeting until like 2 minutes till 5 minutes till 9 because I had a 7 o'clock doctor's appointment this morning.
Ouch.
Yeah, 10:30 got to hop to, but I really appreciate you guys opening this up and try to hop on whenever I get a chance.
Yeah,
Be
nice,
well.
nice chatting with you, Daniel.
So-
Nice seeing you
Yeah.
again.
So Daniel, you know how to find out when we're having these?
No, I just got an email after it had already started even.
All right, I'm going to
Yeah.
share my screen. So if you come to our corporate website,
Mhm.
uh-oh, my mouse just froze. That's because I ran out of juice. Just go to our corporate website and then go to the resources tab.
Okay.
And then at the bottom of the resources tab, you'll see instructor
Oh, yeah.
office hours.
Yep, I see it there.
So if you click on that, it'll list that'll always have the next one that's coming up. And there's also an iCal link that goes there. So if you want to add it to your calendar so you don't forget.
I'll do that. Cool.
So
Yep.
as soon as we schedule the next one, that will be updated.
Sounds good.
So just routinely check there.
Yep. I'll remind my coworkers that are taking the classes too.
All right.
All right.
Hope to see you again, Daniel.
Take care.
Appreciate
And
it, guys. Thank
and-
you.
Daniel, it's not just for people that's taking classes, it's for anyone. So
Anyone?
anyone can jump in here. So
Very cool.
Tell your family and tell your friends.
Yep. Bring a party next. Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye. Daniel. Wow, he goes back away, huh, with interface.
Yeah.
I had a student in class last week that was in my classes from 2012.
Wow.
They took 20410 with me, which is a installing and configuring Windows Server 2012 R2.
Oh, that's right. I remember teaching that.
I hate it when my wireless mouse battery dies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't give any warnings. All of a sudden it stops.
Yep, that's what just happened to me.
Good
Yeah.
reminder. I'm going to plug mine in.
Yeah, I should probably preemptively change my batteries.
Yeah, I have one of the ones that we used to have in the Logitechs we had in the office. Actually, I have two of those. I should keep one. I should just go and put both of the receivers, plug it into the computer, and then just have one on the charger. And then when one dies, I just swap the mouse.
Yeah, you got to be prepared like that.
I got a regular mouse I just popped in. So Jason, they changed the SE200 lab. It used to be when you did the purview mitigation, it used to be a Microsoft Word document that was infected. Now it's a PowerShell prompt,
Awesome.
PowerShell script.
Wait, what class is that?
The SE200.
Okay, not one of mine. I was gonna say, dude, let me try that out. I didn't see that change. I'm looking over AZ 104 right now. They said there's a few, visual changes in it. Of course, they'll tech PowerShell.
And Mike, what I'm doing with the SC200 errata, instead of doing individual modules or individual labs, I'm just doing them by day, like we did with the SC300 and the AZ 700 and the AZ 500.
I'm down with that.
I'll tell you what, guys, I'm gonna step away for a moment because my coffee is gone.
So is
Good
mine.
point.
Yeah, since we have so many people here.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab some coffee myself.
All righty. I thought I had a cooler break timer than that.
Pardon me.
Nope, that's like break. Break time. All right, be right back.
There you go. Much better.
Mike, you used to work for for Microsoft. Is that right?
If you have to ask, you've never been in one of my classes where I remind people so often that it's super duper annoying and they hate me. But yes, I did.
Excuse me.
Dude, I am super duper incredibly annoying. I've actually had people write on evals, I get it, you used to work at Microsoft. I've had that on my evals.
What did you do there? Did you worked on Windows, did you? I heard
A
something
little bit
about
of everything. I started in tech support.
Yeah.
I worked in Windows. I worked in training and certification. I worked in documentation. I wrote books. Wrote all security guides. Worked in Xbox Live. It's a cool company. You can do almost anything you want there.
Yeah, you enjoyed the experience, huh?
Heck yeah.
Cool.
And Peter, since you asked me, you have never seen before. if you ship a product at Microsoft, you get a little award. Would you like to see mine?
Yes, of
I know you do.
course. I
Of course you do.
can't imagine the day without seeing yours. And I don't go there.
No, definitely not. It looks like this. It's called a Ship It Award,
Oh, cool.
and you get these little plaques. Every
Oh, they're
time you
on
ship a
right.
different product, you get a little plaque with the name of the
Oh, yeah,
product
yeah.
and when you ship it.
Cool.
Yeah. So pretty proud of some of those. Not as proud as, of all of them. Like the Zune one isn't very impactful. People don't give a crap if I ship Zune. But things like XP, that's a good one.
But what do you mean when you say shipped?
The product shipped. You work on products for a while, design, development, test,
And then
ship.
what you worked on, you get shipped. I see what you're saying.
Yep. And so eventually it ships and you
Because
get a
it
little
goes out
plaque.
there into the world, it's where the rubber hits the pavement.
Yep.
Mhm.
I think kind of cool. Kind of a cool little artifact.
Yeah, something to
One
be
of
proud
those
of, definitely.
unspoken lores. People don't know about it. So, they don't talk about it. I'll be buried with mine. Don't worry. It'll be made into a necklace and be around my neck for eternity.
Awesome.
I saw some sequel humor. If you like, I'll give you a link.
Is it Bobby Drop Tables?
No, that's legendary. That's not
Yeah,
even
that's legendary.
classic. That's like beyond classic.
Yeah, that's true.
It's I wouldn't say political, but it's slightly no, it's not even political. Here you go. I don't give a crap. Here you go. That you can enjoy that if you like. It's in chat.
Oh, it's in chat.
Yep.
How you doing?
Elon
Robert,
Musk thinks there's massive fraud in the government because of database.
All right. Sorry. So, so I would say if you're doing the AI 900 this course, I would say your next one you'd want to take would be the AI 102. And give me just a couple seconds here. Let me look at. I have another Microsoft roadmap here I can look at. All right, it's not that one.
That's great, Mike. I just saw
You
it.
like that?
Hilarious.
I like that she literally types the word distinct as she's talking about it. I mean that is to me that's what made it. That's what got me.
Someone needs to explain one-to-many relationships to him.
Exactly.
That is funny. And he's saying it's fraud.
That's right.
Well, you see what you want to see,
And then to say something like, yeah, the US government doesn't use SQL. I mean, that in and of itself is insane to say, but then she,
Yeah,
gets up, she's like, oh yeah, I work there. And yes, we do.
Yeah.
But the fact that I don't know what it is, but that she starts typing the word distinct as she's talking about distinct, just, she's awesome. That
No,
lady is
she's awesome. Her attitude is right on. Yeah. Ridiculous. Anywho,
Yeah. I'm sorry, Rick, you were talking, you were going to talk about,
Yeah, I was talking to a student, but I'm
learning
looking for
paths.
something.
Sorry. Cool. Sorry.
No
I'm going to
problem.
take a quick break while y'all are chatting.
All right.
Yeah, I have to take a quick break too. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I have a table. It's a chart for certifications. I'm just trying to figure out where I stored it, where I saved it. Okay, it's not there, so it's got to be over here. It looks like the link I had no longer works. All right, it's not there. Let me see if I can do a chat here.
All right, I got the magic coffee. I'm ready to roll.
I'm looking for the certification roadmap for Course. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. If I'm not, please, I apologize. All right, I found it. All right, so let's see if this. So I have this. I'll go ahead and I'll drop it in the chat here in just a second. Um, so they talk about data and AI right here. So they have your roadmap depending on what it is you want to get specialized in. So you've got your fundamentals classes, and then down here in the center is they call it your role based. So depending on what it is you're specifically wanting to do with AI, and then then you come on down. Then it's if you are interested in the security piece. So I will drop this in the chat. And actually, let me see if it'll let me download it first. Download. All right. I'm going to throw this document into chat. So there's the certification poster I was just showing you. Is in chat for you.
Actually, I'm saving that for myself because I have not even had a chance to look at these. There we are.
Yeah, it looks like they just updated it with the AI stuff.
Yep, there's my. Yeah, I can see some of my stuff in there now. Yep, there's the 104.
So, uh, so Jason,
Uh-huh.
right? When you teach the um, AZ 104 class,
Mm-hmm.
and you talk about making building resources like compute, the fact that you cannot move them from one region to another region, correct?
On the compute ones, yeah, I tell everybody check the check. Can't I just lost my camera? There we go. Yeah, check the documentation before you deploy. If you think there might be something that you might have to move, to see if you can move it.
There is a new tool in Microsoft in Azure.
Oh, what's that?
It's called the Azure VM Resource Mover.
Oh, let's see. Hang on, let me get.
I just threw it in the chat or in that.
Oh,
my
very
screen,
cool.
right? So I now I now do the traditional. If you're taking the exam, right, right. If you're taking the exam, keep in mind that you cannot. 90% of the resources you build in Azure, you cannot move from one region to another region. You can move them between resource groups. You can move them between subscriptions. But 90% of the stuff you build in Azure, if you build it in US West, you cannot move it from US West somewhere else. Right now, I always tell them there's always the back door, which is using Azure Site Recovery. So you do Azure Site Recovery from the site region where you're at to the region you want to move to, and then you do a disaster where your original site you bring everything up in your destination site. But now they have this new tool called the Azure um, Resource Mover. And I thought you would like that.
Oh, definitely. Hang on here. So it's a good thing I'm working on that class.
Okay.
Let's see. There it is. Thank you.
You know it just revved, right? It revved 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm going through it. So what I like to do is go through every element that they put out there. Even though if you look at the change log, there's really they said there's really nothing major in there. But I
It's
did
not,
notice they did correct a few of the slides naming and stuff like that is what I found so
they,
far.
it wasn't a major,
Yeah.
but what they did is instead of having modules 1 through what was it 12, now it's learning paths of 1 through 4, and like the first 5 modules make up the first learning path. So
Yeah, and like I said, I just noticed a few little tweaks here and there on the slides as I'm kind of going one by one, trying to make sure I got all the changes covered. But that's kind of neat. Move your VMs across regions. That might be a neat one to play with.
yep, oh it is. I've played with it a couple times. I got another bookmark for you. Since I find it, you're going to like for. Okay, it's not there. All right. I think you're going to like this one, Jason, especially for your AZ 104, AZ 900 class.
What's that?
Where are all the data centers located out in the world and by what cloud service providers?
Ah,
That. All right, I'm going to share my screen so it makes it easier for you to see.
yeah, go ahead. Because, yeah, I do try to show that. The global map is okay.
Oh, the global map's okay, but this also shows you there's other data centers that are out there. And the global map only shows you roughly where the region's located. Right. So let's come in here and we say we want to search by Microsoft. Right. Azure Microsoft. So here are all the Azure Microsoft data centers around the world with pictures of the data centers. And if you come down, for instance, like where we at? Always like using West US 3. There's
It might
West,
be on the next page.
yeah, East US, West US 2.
Yeah, I like to zoom in on it on Google Earth.
Yep, there it is. West US 3,
Uh-huh.
Arizona. Ready for this?
Yeah,
It
go
actually
for
gives
it.
the street address of the primary
Yeah.
data center,
Uh-huh.
right? And then you come in here, it actually gives you a map, shows you where the data center is in relation to the map.
Mhm.
But the other thing I like about this is, so some students are like, well, what other thing can you get? Well, I get details about the data center, things like how large the data center is, uh, the square foot of the data center, right? And a lot of information about the data center, what certifications are in the data center. Then, if you want to order a brochure about the data center,
No
you can order
way.
a brochure, right,
Mhm.
on the map. Now, when you teach students about a region and you tell them that a region has uh, usually three data centers
Yeah.
and they're located in different power grids.
Yeah.
Have you ever looked at East US?
No.
East US is located in Boyerton, Virginia.
Mhm.
All three data centers are located at the same complex. What they've done is they bring in the utility grids from three different directions
Oh, wow.
in three different power grids.
Mhm.
Now, US West or US East and US East 2s are right across the street from each other.
Oh, there's some yeah, that's some safety right there.
Yeah. So if I come down here and I look at US East,
Uh-huh.
see US East 2 is in Boynton, Virginia,
Mhm.
and US East, I just saw it down here, right, is also in Boynton, Virginia. 925 Ridge Road,
Mhm.
right? The address for US East 2, right, is Boynton Road. And I'll just do this. If I come in here and I look at the map
Uh-huh.
and I zoom out here, right, this is US East 2.
Mhm.
See that green dot right there? US
Yeah.
East 1 is located right there.
Was this designed by the Navy by any chance?
No, by the Army.
Oh my gosh. Oh, too bad Lynn's not on right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I show him here at West US 3 that I show him the separation between the data centers. A little bit more assurance there, but if they're that close, I mean, they're not subject to the same problems we are out here.
Yep.
Was you hear about the closed loop cooling they're putting in at West 3?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've always wondered why they put in all these data centers and these high tech places that need water here.
Yep. Did you see that City of Goodyear and Buckeye just sold off 900 acres for a new data center to go in on MC 85?
Oh wow.
So, but anyway, I thought
Would
this is a
not
pretty good
shortcut.
joke. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm putting those in my little notes here real
Yeah.
quick. Text file.
How you doing, Iggy? I noticed you popped in. If you got any questions, just holler. We're just here kind of talking,
Yeah.
answering questions for anyone that comes up, depending on what's going on. I was doing some keystroking of some labs. Jason, who you see up there, right? Jason, if you wave, okay. Jason is up there, was doing some PowerShell stuff. He's our PowerShell security, and he also teaches Azure and Microsoft technologies. Got Mikey D down there. It looks like the gangster. That he does security and also some Azure stuff and Windows troubleshooting. And then we got Mr. Peter over there, Peter Avila. He is Mr. SQL. And then I personally do Azure, Microsoft technologies, and a little bit of security. So if you got a question, you can either throw it in the chat or unmute and speak up. If you want us to see it, you can also right, no problem, right? That's one of the reasons why we created this. It's just so everybody can hang
Oh yeah.
and do their own thing.
Heck
And
yeah.
and as I was showing, a person just left a few minutes ago, Gregory. If you come to our corporate website, let me go home. On our corporate website, the way you can keep track of when these events are happening, We're going to try to do them right now. Cadence is at least once a month. We're looking to probably trying to do twice a month, depending on instructor availability. This week, we're lucky we had 4 instructors that were down. So all 4 of us are chiming in. But if you come in on our corporate website and you go to resources at the bottom, actually make that a little bit bigger. You come all the way to the bottom of the resources tab, you'll see instructor office hours. And if you click on that, there'll always be a box in here when the next set of office hours are coming up. So let's say, for instance, it was scheduled the first week and the second week of April. You'd see 2 yellow boxes. And then for whatever instructors were going on that week. So
I have a question.
I got an answer.
The article that you just showed that VM can be used across multiple regions, is that what it said?
It can be moved from one. You can move it from one region to another.
From one region to another. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. A VM is accessible from anywhere in the world, as long as you have it,
Yeah.
right?
Right. That's what I was going to ask, because it's the region is just something that kind of works in the background.
The region, if you think about and here's the easiest way I explain regions, is if you have a brick and mortar, let's say you have a brick and mortar in Phoenix, like we had at Park Central, that would be our brick and mortar. That would be a data, could be considered a data center. And then if we had another brick and mortar in Mesa, that would be the same, could be part of the same region.
Mm-hmm.
And that'd be a data center. And then so we had another data center up in Fountain Hills. Right? That would be another data center. Those 3 data centers make up the region. What's unique is about those 3 data centers, each of those 3 data centers are on their own power grid, or I should say utility grid. So as an example, right, if US West 3, as Jason was just saying a few minutes ago, is located here in Phoenix, one of the data centers is literally located 5 miles that way from me. The other data center is located 4.5 miles from me that way. And the third data center is located 7 miles from me that way. So the data center back there is on the Goodyear utility grid. That data center over there is on the Waddell utility grid. And that data center over there is on the Glendale power grid or utility grid. So you choose, let's say all your users were in the Southwest. You want your resources at a region where all your users are at. So you'd spin up your resources here. But what if your users are in New York City? Or let's say they're in the central United States. Instead of spinning up the resources at the region here, you would spin your resources up in a region closer to them, which again is going to be 3 data centers. Mm-hmm. Regions are disaster recovery platforms. So in the event that you heard me mention a few minutes ago, Azure Site Recovery Services. So you would take your region here and you would mirror your region, let's say, to central US. So in the event, if you had a natural disaster, we took out all 3 data centers here in Arizona, your resources be made available to you at the data center at one of the data centers in, say, central US. That's how we use regions. And regions are broken up in what's called geopolitical boundaries.
But with all that happening in the background automatically, if one region goes down, it automatically gets switched to another region. Is that right?
It's set up that way.
Right? Maybe. Mm-hmm. Now, there's different redundancies based off where you're doing compute or storage. Mm-hmm. So let's talk compute for a minute, right? Which would involve SQL. SQL is considered compute. When you spin up a resource, you pick the region, and then you pick whether or not you want redundancy in that region. So you have an option to not do redundancy, which means your resources spun up in one data center only in that region. And if that data center were to go offline, right, whatever compute's running in that data center is not available until that data center comes back online.
And what Microsoft the value of switching to another region?
Nope, not by default, because you didn't lose the region. Mm-hmm. Right? You only lost the data center.
Data center, right.
So if one of the options when you are doing compute is to do what's called an availability zone. So now your resources are spun up in, say, the data center back here, but it's also being replicated to the other 2 data centers. So if the data center back here goes offline, my data is not available to me in these other two data centers.
Right.
That's the type of redundancy we have to choose. Is it going to cost me more money to have it running back here or have it back here in the other two? Of course, it's going to cost me more money to run it in all three. What Microsoft provides us for high availability is US West 3 is paired with, let's say, with US Central. So Microsoft behind the scenes replicates our data, or it synchronizes compute between US West 3 and US Central. If I am not doing zone redundant inside the environment, and I only have one instance of my compute running in that data center, that building goes down, compute's not available to me because I did not provide my backups and recovery. That's another layer of redundancy. If I had zone redundant where I'm running all three data centers, the original data center goes offline, the other two data centers are available. Microsoft provides us another level of redundancy if we lose the region. All three data centers in US West 3 just automatically go poof. Wherever Microsoft has chosen our paired region, we'll spin up our resources in that paired region. And I'm going to say that as a maybe.
There's
And the
always
reason
what kind of fallback region?
and the reason why I say it's a maybe is anything that's running in Azure that is in preview, you get 0 service level agreement. Anything that you are not paying for, in other words, any free resource in Azure has 0 service level agreement. So, like one of the reasons why Microsoft is retiring a standard load balancer or a basic load balancer, because a basic load balancer has a 0 service level agreement, but the standard does. So if you spun up a standard load balancer inside of this region, it would automatically be paired to that other region, whereas the basic load balancer isn't. So anything you're not paying for in Azure is not being a service level agreement. And if I understood this correctly, my Azure tenant that I get as part of it being an MCT has no service level agreement because I'm not paying anything for it. Right? It's a free benefit to me for being a trainer. So my MCT environment and Jason's MCT environment, if your MCT environment, Mike's MCT environment, they're provided by as an MCT is a 0 service level agreement. That makes sense?
Yeah, but I don't
But
know.
what?
So what is the advantage you have from being able to move your VM to a different region if that automatically doesn't that automatically happen? Am I still not understanding it?
No. When you build a resource in Azure, right? Let's say I build a resource in interfaces server room.
Okay.
Right? And I cannot take that resource that I built in interfaces server room that's in the Phoenix region. I cannot move that compute resource, let's say, to Kansas City. There's no way to move it.
Right.
That's the same way in Azure. When I build most of the resources you build in Azure, when you build it in a region, you're stuck in that region. That's why they tell you to do your planning. Make sure you're building the resources in the region where you need them to build. And other things to think of, you have to build virtual networks. If I build a virtual network in US West 3 region, I can't put a virtual machine that's running in East US in that virtual network. Virtual networks are regional components.
So now you can with this new revelation.
What's that?
So now you can with that article that you were showing earlier about how you can move your VM to different.
That new article, it gives you the instructions on how you can now move a VM from one region to another region.
Get it.
Easy.
If I remember the date of that article, and the date of that article was actually it's from March of last year. So we've had that capability since March of last year. It's just that Microsoft never advertises it. The only reason why I found it, I was in the MCT forums, and someone asked a question about, is there really no way to move a VM other than doing Azure Site Recovery? And someone posted a link to this article, and I went, ooh, I think I want to bookmark that article.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah, that is really interesting stuff.
Yeah. And the reason why I wanted to, because Jason and I both teach the AZ 900, AZ 104, which is the Azure admin class and the Azure fundamentals. And he also teaches the Azure architect class, the 305.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely in the Azure architect class, that's where he teaches them how to plan where to put resources. And so this now he can add this to his AZ 305 class saying, now Microsoft says, but look at this article, folks, you can do this now. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. All right. So you guys noticed that when you logged in that it gave you a heads up that the AI was tagging the meeting. So if you guys haven't seen that before, if you want, I can email you a copy of what it generates from the end of the meeting. Or I can drop it in the Teams. It's actually pretty pretty extraordinary what it throws in there.
Yeah, I was actually kind of shocked when I got my first AI summary. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
It is definitely listening to it. It's scary. Okay, it's scary.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. It's scary what it's listening to, and it's able to summarize essentially what you and I have been saying.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're doing that on Amazon these days too, like summarizing comments.
Yep.
Most users say that this and that, and some users feel that this way, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. So this you'll get a summary, and then you'll get basically a call to action. If any one of us were tagged to do something additional, it gives you a call to actions or things that were you have to look at.
So you're pasting a link at the end of the session? Is that what you said?
No, it's not a link. It takes about, depending on a session that's this long, it's going to take probably 30, 40 minutes to generate it. Right. So it generates it and it sends me an email, right, with the content. I'll just forward the email to you three if you want it.
Yeah, I do.
So
yeah, it's neat to look at.
And in case you haven't done it before, you come over here. So so Peter, on my screen, right? Can you see down here at the bottom? There's this little diamond. And if you look inside my window, see that little diamond right there? Right? This little diamond right here?
Yeah.
Right? The instructor office hours, that's turned on by default. Right? We've set that to be on. We want to get kind of a synopsis of what went on. But when you start a class in the morning, if you turn that on, right, it will listen to your entire class. At the end of the day, it'll give you a summary of what was covered that day. And also, if students were asking questions, let's say they ask the question, you'll say, I'll get back to you. It'll give you a further action required, right? Peter's going to look up this result, or Peter's going to answer this question, which is actually kind of cool.
Well, I don't want to see that. That is cool, because that's sometimes you can lose track of that.
Yep.
You promise a student, no, okay, we're going to talk about this. I'll get back to you, and then it's nice to have that being noted somewhere.
Yep. I used to try to write it down so I make sure I get back to them. But sometimes you're in the middle of doing something and you forget to write it down, and then next thing you know, you didn't answer the question.
Yeah.
No, you don't. The summaries are only sent to Iggy, only sent to the host of the meeting. So Ziggy or Ziggy, Iggy, are you a developer, system guy, gal, Are you security? What's your background?
Keep in mind your mic is muted.
Yeah.
By touch typing.
They're typing. That's what I don't like about the meeting chat. You can't see
Yeah.
if someone's typing.
Exactly.
It would be
Exactly.
it would be nice if you could see when somebody's typing.
I know. I have to explain to people when we start doing this, the uncomfortable pause. Like, I don't know if you're typing, but if you are, just keep typing if I move on.
Yep. I hear you doing that in your things.
I do a little
Okay.
bit of everything, mostly help desk and network support. Oh, cool.
Oh, so the hacker extraordinaire down there with the big old bushy beard, he's right up your alley. He teaches the both our troubleshooting classes. He's got a intro to troubleshooting and then an advanced troubleshooting class, Win 600 and Win 740, and then him, Jason, and myself, all three do networking stuff.
Yeah.
Now, I do networking. I do networking the traditional way, right? Called graphical interfaces, right? Good old Mr. Jason up there, all right? He likes to use these things and type, so he does everything in PowerShell.
Yeah, let me show Iggy something here. Hey, Iggy. So you do
Sure.
help desk stuff, right?
Right.
Well, hey, I'm going to share my screen if I
Yeah,
could.
yeah, go ahead and share your screen.
Yeah. So I'm just playing around here. Let me get my
Mike, he
screen
took a Win
share
10
up
class
there.
with you. Woohoo!
Okay. Ooh, actually, move this over here so you don't see all the Zoom stuff flying up. And let me switch my screen over. Let's see. Is that? There we go. Now I can see. Okay. Well, hey, I'm going to bring something up on my computer. I'm typing view. I shouldn't switch screens because you can't see it. And then I'm doing a view reliability. I'm bringing up this thing called view reliability history. Have you ever seen this thing, Iggy? Oh, I lost my chat window. Hang on.
Oh, my favorite tool.
Oh, well, dig this. Never. Well, hey, let me explain this, and I'm going to show you now. I'm about to use a word. When you do help desk, this word is generally considered profanity, okay? Proactive tech support. I know, right?
I
Okay.
don't like you anymore, Jason. I used to like you. I used to think good
I
of you.
know, proactive. How dare
Now
I?
you suck.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is kind of like the health of the machine because when you would ask your users have a problem, you'd ask them, okay, did you install anything?
No.
Okay. How long has this problem actually been happening?
2 weeks.
Yeah. So we know they lie, right? I would just ask the question just for the sheer thrill of it is what I would do. So going back over here to this cool little thing. They can't install anything. Okay, that's good. I've been in environments where they say, oh, we need everybody to have admin rights. My response is why? Well, it's just easier on us. In other words, they don't want to deal with the politics. But anyhow, so it could be a nightmare.
So you haven't been with us. All of our sales reps, Jason, have admin rights. Because they run a stupid homegrown application for registration purposes that we haven't fixed that requires to be an administrator to run it.
Ouch. Well, here, let me show you something. Let me get my screen. Yeah, I'm playing with a new setup here. If I can just get this, my camera moved out of the, there we go. So on this little graph, if you click on the
Your
day,
camera's on top of the graph now.
Oh, I am.
You were down at the bottom before. There you go.
Yeah. So what happens is, I keep on my screen, everything's reversed. It's mirrored. So I'm trying to figure out which side I'm on. So when you look over here, if you click, you can see things like, software installations, uninstallations, successful, unsuccessful. Same thing when it comes to the updates and also any program hangs or crashes. So you can jump back in time and, look at bad days. This little graph up here. When it goes up, that means the machine's having a good day. When it drops, it means that it had a bad day. If it stays flat, that means they lied and didn't even turn the thing on that day. But the thing is, you got a remote desktop in to get these things. Now, back in the Vista, we could remote desktop, kind of remote to this, but we can't. So this is a little neat little trick here. So I'm in PowerShell right now, and actually, I'm on my local machine. Yeah, I'm going to do this on the local machine, but we can remote to others. So I'm going to do a little command get, capitalization, get sim instance on the class Win32 reliability stability metrics. And when I run that, it pulls the data that made that particular graph. So what we can do to try and figure out if somebody is having a problem that we might need to know about, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select out just the system stability index, and I'm going to grab the first 5 because those are the latest and greatest ones that come out. And then I'm going to average those things out, just to kind of normalize the data. And let's get the average. Now, when I run that, I can see right now I'm doing an 8.1. Well, the cool thing is that what you can do is set this up to kind of remote out to each of your machines, ask the question, and if that number drops below whatever threshold you want, that might be a time for your tech support gurus to start taking a look at the machine before the user calls. So you can actually kind of get a little environment I'm kind of playing with right now. Because I can do a little remoting. Unfortunately, lost my lab. There it is. Unfortunately, I just spun this thing up literally last night, so there's not a whole lot of data. And let me copy that code I just made here over into my lab. File, new PowerShell script. There we go. And right now, I'm not logged in the credentials that can remote. So let me grab those credentials real quickly here. CRED is equal to get credential. Oops. I could talk and type at the same time. There we go. And what I'm going to try to do here is remote over to another machine. Whoa. Hit tab too many times. Oh, my bad. I need to actually go into a remote session. So I'm going to do is I'm going to remote over to another computer. Invoke. There's a way to do it with get some instance, but I need to do it with alternate credentials. So the credential, because again, what I'm using right now doesn't have permissions to do this. To computer name, and I have it as ITT-DC1. And then this is what I would like to do, like to send to the other machine so I can see if it's having any issues today. And apparently I didn't turn my PowerShell remoting on this morning. Let me see here. Oh, let me grab my credentials here in this program. My bad. I literally just played with this probably about an hour before you came online here. Let's try it now. Okay. And the other thing is I could have typed in my password wrong. Oh, I know what I did. Domain credentials. That's what I did wrong. Well, don't you guys love it when your demonstrations blow up on you?
Never happened to me, Jason.
Yeah, whatever. Whoops, get network. Hack through it. Yeah, that's the right password. Or did I just need to do ITT, not ITT.com? Because yeah, when you guys were talking a little bit earlier, I was playing around and doing remoting, but I had to go through this extra step because again, I logged in under local credentials, not my admin. Well, I'll be darned. Well, this is what you do when you shoot from the hip on a demonstration. Under normal conditions, when I've actually I probably
Jason, and then ITT backslash,
Oh, it
not
could
forward
be.
slash.
Right, you say my dyslexia kicked in?
Yeah. Your user account should be ITT backslash,
Ah,
not ITT forward slash.
assuming I typed correctly. Hey, Rick, what do you know when dyslexia doesn't kick in, it does work. So anyhow, the reason why I don't like showing these on new machines is it's always at a 10. But what we can do is we can actually say, okay, well, if the drop may be below a 5, then maybe it's time that we start taking a look at that computer. Because, I've had situations where the users had problems, but they don't tell me about it. And then they call my boss's boss and say I'm not doing my job because their computer's broken. It's the first time I've ever heard of it. So this actually gives you a little preview as to whether or not they're potentially having an issues, because when that average starts dropping, that means they're having problems. So that's just one of the things that we, when I get my backslashes right, that's one of the things we take a look at how is the remote in the people's computers so we can pull this type of data. So that's just a little preemptive tech support for you.
Wow, that's really a different approach to tech support in a very fundamental way.
Yeah, I don't like hearing it from my boss's boss. Let's put it that way.
So I would like to give you a little bit of feedback on that
Sure.
preemptive tech support thing. So it's a very cool technique, but my preemptive tech support take on what you just did is you are running the second worst piece of garbage software known to mankind. You're running Armory Crate,
Let us know how you
Armory
really feel,
Crate.
Mike.
Asus Armory Crate.
Okay.
What a terrible piece of software that is.
Why is that?
It crashes all the time.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, and the drivers interfere with other drivers. It gets in the. It's nasty. It's second.
So is it
only.
invoke command that's doing it, or the
No, it's when you had reliability monitor up. One of your crashes, the crash you focused on was Armory Crate.
Hang on.
Yeah. Bring it back up.
There it is.
There it is. What a terrible piece of software. It's an Asus app. You probably have an Asus motherboard.
This is off my. Yeah, this is the OBS rig I'm on.
Yep. It is awful.
Creative guy here. I actually completely agree.
Cool. Then why did you put it on there, Greg?
Yeah, Greg, you gave me this
Well-
machine, bro.
Fortnite dad, that's it was on mine too. I was like, wow.
Oh, well, if it's on mine too, my piece of crap machine that crashes all the time, I'll put it on yours. That's I love
Thanks,
your logic,
Greg.
Greg.
Appreciate that, man.
Hey,
For enthusiasm there.
I blame the
Here, I
builder.
thought it was the command I'm using. It's software that's on the machine. You had me freaking out there, bud.
So if you want to get rid of that, by the way, Jason, you have to download an app remover. That's how bad it is. You can't just uninstall it. You actually have to download an app to properly remove it.
True
Why'd
that.
you do this to me, Greg?
I blame the builder.
It's second only in the worst Windows apps of all time, second only to iTunes,
Oh,
Ouch.
right? And you know how bad
Ouch.
iTunes is.
Ouch.
ouch.
Yeah.
And I know
On
how much
Windows.
you hate iTunes.
On Windows. On Mac, I don't give a crap. It's fine. Actually, it's fine on Mac. On Windows, it's a terrible, terrible, terrible thing. And that's the second worst thing.
So where did I get this removal tool?
Asus, actually, sadly enough, the manufacturer has a removal tool on their website. So if
It's
you
their most
Google
it's their most
Asus
popular application.
Oh
Yeah,
my
it-
God.
super, hold on, let me give you a good link. Asus
Don't make me laugh.
Armory Crate
Good. I was just about to look it up.
removal tool.
I won't do it now because I want to crash while we're on session here.
No, but I'll get you a link anyway. Hold
Okay.
on. Here it is.
Let's see what you got here. Oh, Bidar, look at that. Add to the notes for today.
Yep. It's
Well, I'll be
any
calling
app
you,
that
Mike, if this
requires
crashes
a
my machine.
separate- Any app that requires a separate app to uninstall it cleanly is a bad app anyway.
Well, it's a good thing, Iggy. I showed that to you, huh?
It is. It's fortunate.
Yeah, really.
I don't even know if I got Armory Crate installed on this machine, to tell you the truth.
There you go.
Faulting application. Let's see.
What a terrible,
it's
terrible
installed.
thing.
Considering this machine was built by the same people that built Jason's.
Greg?
I'll blame Greg.
I'll
I
take
put
it.
it's not Greg's fault. It was.
Whoever installed it.
Well, I
They
would
open
I would
source.
suggest you fix that, Jason, by just restarting the box.
Oh, the good old
creative
fix.
tech
Just
support here.
reboot the thing, huh?
And Iggy, because you took Mike Dan's Win 10 class, you know how he feels about just restarting the computer. So that was kind of a dig at Mike.
Yeah, people dig at me a lot, Iggy, because I dispelled the voodoo myth that rebooting actually fixes anything or does anything other than make people feel slightly more comfortable for a short amount of time before the problem is still there. So
Well,
you already
also
know
you
how
can
I
go
feel
you
about
can
that.
you can go get a sandwich.
I could use a sandwich while you're rebooting and defragging and check disking and uninstalling and reinstalling and running DISM and running what's the other one? SFC. That's yeah. I'll just do something else. You remember the plastic knife? I still have that. I still use that, Iggy, every time. That's awesome that you remember that.
Just trying to see if it comes up. It didn't come up in the records. Oh wait, there. Is that it?
So it's part of Armory Crate. It's
Right
actually
there it is. Yep.
Yep.
Well, I'm just looking at this because the other thing I like to show off is to be able to do further research on those.
Oh yeah.
With the reliability records, because if you go, whoops, let me jump back here, because if I go down to view all problems, and there it is. Let's see. Well, it hasn't been that bad. At least within the last month or two here.
Yeah, just every day or every other day, like when you have your computer on. It only seems to crash when your computer is on. That's not bad at all. What's the problem? What's the deal? Why are you so
Wait, are
picky?
you saying this is the only time I've had my OBS rig on?
Possibly.
Uh-huh. Okay, because
I
I
don't
use
know.
my laptop for most of my programming. Okay, guilty.
I
But-
think Mark Jacob needs to check this out.
Yeah. But right here, if you're on, there's another one here called Win32 Reliability Records that you can dig in from those machines if you find a problem and find out, what things causing problems, like the source.
That is cool.
Yeah. So here I'm going to filter. I'm doing the filter by where the message component has that name in it, but I'll do another filter on application error. So let me just, make this a little bit larger so we can see it. So we're going to, what property I'm interested in. We're doing the source name. So where the source name is, and we can set this one to be an equal because we're looking specifically for it. Application error. All right. And then let me run just this little, I'm going to clear my screen here.
I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect. I gotta grab some bite before the instructor meeting starts.
Cool.
Okay. See you there.
Take care, Peter.
Nice
See you,
hanging,
Peter.
guys.
Yeah.
Oh,
And there it
Iggy,
is.
A question about UEV. Iggy, I don't know anything about UEV. Maybe someone else does.
Let's see. Any suggestion to profiles on the computers grow big in file size? Ricky, you know anything about this one?
Oh, hang on. I was looking at something else.
Yeah.
Bring up the chat window.
I mean, profiles tend to get really dirty and big when you've got apps uninstalling and reinstalling and uninstalling and reinstalling. Profiles tend to get really big. Yeah, basically when apps store their data in the profile. Profiles by themselves don't really change. But it's that app data folder that's hidden in the profile that tends to get ginormous. So with with no other data, what I would say is try to figure out which app or apps is storing data there. Like grab a machine that's got that behavior, that growing profile size, and try to figure out which folder is getting ginormous. You could use there's a bunch of like open source utilities out there on the internet that'll actually map directories for you and show you the size of different folders to try to figure out what the source of that is, and then address that app or apps specifically. beyond that, I don't know
The-
specifically
yeah.
about UEV.
UEV
Yeah,
is
window stat, exactly.
yeah. UEV is the user environmental variable that is used in. Are you guys using remote desktop services, Iggy? Yep, that's UEV is allows you. It's roaming profiles is what UEV is. So it allows you to store the user's profiles in a so when they connect to a roaming desktop, or I'm sorry, when they connect to a remote desktop services, it brings their profile over to the machine. It's usually in a pooled environment. So that's what's happening, and I don't know of any way to keep that clean.
Yeah, I'm seeing a PowerShell commandlet. Let me share. Oop, go
Is
back
everything
here.
PowerShell commandlet with you, Jason? Is that what
Pretty
this
much.
is?
Pretty much.
Is this life with you now?
Hey, I don't like to work, bud. You know that. So we could, let's see, there is a reset, but I think, let's see, I thought there was a reset. No, we can get rid of them. I thought they had a reset. Might have to check PowerShell 5. I'm running 7 here. But there's a way I thought. No, register. Thought there's a way through here that you can, at least it would do is it'll get rid of the only way I know that it can do is just get rid of it. Get rid of the file on the machine. Oh shoot, which one was it? Yeah, I may have to switch to 5 because this does not look completely familiar. I've only briefly played with it. I haven't really done much, but restore from backup. Yeah, I have to go into the help files to figure out which one it is here for 7. But yeah, that's the only thing I can think of is get rid of the whole thing completely. But then you start back over again.
Gotcha.
It was a
So that might, yeah,
for
definitely. But I would
reset.
use window stat for sure, Iggy. That would be my approach. I know it's my approach and Jason's a little different. I would
Both Mike's,
definitely
he's
use window
smarter.
stat, figure out where it's coming from.
Yeah, it's not even listed. Look at that.
And with that, I think we got to wrap it up in a sec. Iggy, we'll be back Thursday. So if you want to hang out some more, chat some more, ask hard questions, ask troubleshooting teasers of Jason and me, and watch us debate who's right and who's wrong.
But right now you're winning.
I don't always win. But yeah, we'll be back Thursday, man.
See, now the wheels
Cool.
of my head are turning.
Awesome.
You too, Iggy. Take care.
Right.
See ya.
So, all right, see Iggy. We will see you possibly on Thursday. Same bat channel, same bat place.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
See you guys.
Greg, take
Thank
care.
you. Yeah, take
Jason,
care.
see you.
Take care, Greg.
Adios.
Jason, you gonna be with us Thursday, or are you going camping?
We'll see how I'm feeling after this week's debacle.
Okay.
Right now, I'm going to say yes to it, but yeah, I'm still trying to take care of a few issues. So actually, I'm about to get on the phone with with the doctor's office and ask a few questions.
Okay. Cool.
Hmm.
So, yeah,
But
just
yeah, if I'm home, I will be online.
okay.
I'll let you
Great.
know. Okay.
Okay. Or you could pop in any time up to 11:30.
Okay.
All right. So,
Yep.
all right, man. We'll see you later.
All right. Take care.
All right. Take care.